What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Actually, this video I was really intending on making this a live stream video for the topic at hand, but some technical difficulties came up and that just kind of didn't go well, so now I'm making a video on this. So today I'm going to be talking about the gear that I specifically use for content creation. This is everything that I use specifically for making all the videos that I do. I'm not going to be doing any recommendations for any of this, well, maybe for one thing, but beyond that, specifically for what I use for my content creation. Because I do get a lot of people when I tell them that I make YouTube videos and that I'm a YouTuber, they generally get the same questions such as, oh, what camera should I buy, or what kind of mic should I buy, or how much money should I spend to start my channel. And so I usually just tell them just whatever works best for you works best for you. And so I thought that I would make this video just so I could show people and just tell you exactly what I use for my videos. Now, some of this I don't use as often as others. I do tend to switch it up a lot, but so we're going to get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about obviously is cameras. So I really only use two cameras, although I do have three. I don't really consider my GoPro a camera. I just consider it more of a kind of just be sticking up on my car, and I like to do a little bit of time lapse or time warps with that. But beyond that, it just pretty much is just there if I ever felt like wanting to do something with it. Otherwise, my main cameras is my Sony ZV-1, which is this camera here, and my A6400, which I have the Sigma 16mm f1.4 for that. That is my main vlogging setup for that. Now, I do switch between cameras, and that is, again, I want to talk about the Sony ZV-1. Now, this is the only camera that I really would recommend to anybody who was looking to buy their first camera. Obviously, your cell phone and buying a pretty inexpensive mic is usually the best way to go because your camera already can shoot video, so that's half the money that you don't have to worry about spending on a camera. But if you do have the money, but you don't have that kind of money to spend on, like, say, a full frame or buying a camera with a lens or with a kit lens, this is actually not a bad deal. Now, I bought this during the holidays, I think back in 2020. I bought this along with the wireless remote that they actually came paired with it. It was around $750, I believe, at the time. Now the camera itself is like $650, but this is like the best blend of both a point and shoot and more creative vlogging style. So basically what I mean is that it gives you the flip out screen, so when you're doing your vlogs, you can simply just see yourself in your shot. That way you can line yourself up with your shot. You can see if you are overexposed or underexposed. You can pretty much do all the settings that you need to get done before you even hit the record button, as opposed to most cameras where you don't have that option of the flip out screen. You kind of have to change it in post edit, and if you never edit a video, it can kind of become a little overwhelming. But with this, it's simple to use. I mean, you could learn to use this camera in a day while you're using it. It does 4K at both 24 and 30 frames. It also does HD 1080 at 60, 30. It does have a setting mode on here for high frame rate. So if you're doing sports photography, you simply just toggle it to that, and you can do your photography for that. It also has the ability to do up to 200 or 120 or 240 frame rates if you love that kind of slow motion style vlogging. If you want to do that, I would definitely recommend this for anybody who is looking to start their first YouTube channel and wants something beyond just their or their cell phone. It's a very useful camera. Like I said, I've had it for quite a while, and I don't really see myself ever not getting rid of it. I usually switch between this and my A6400 depending on how I want to do my videos. And again, with this Bluetooth remote that I bought for this, I actually can control pretty much almost every aspect of this camera, from the zoom in to the zoom out to customizing buttons on this, where my remote can use that, because my remote has customized buttons that you simply tap on that to do that. And I can also use it on my Sony A6400. In terms of when I'm ready to hit record, I simply just hit the record button and it records. And if I have the kit lens, which is like the 16 and 50mm lens, it does have power zoom. Again, I can simply just use this to zoom in and zoom out. If I'm doing a sort of vlogging setting where I have it sitting on a tripod and I'm talking about something and I want to zoom in on it, simply just use the remote to zoom in and zoom out on that. I'm not saying that you should buy that, but this came with this camera, so I find it very useful for that. You don't have to do that, but I find it useful myself. But I'll have a link down below for everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video at the end. So if you want to, go take a look at it. Links are down below. So that's it for the cameras. Now the lenses, I'm using a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens for this, and I also have a Sigma 30mm f1.4 lens. Now this lens I don't use for vlogging because with the Sony a6000 lineups, these are what are known as APS-C censored cameras. So if you're shooting at like say 4K, it gives you a crop. So with the 16mm, when I hit record, this is as cropped in as it gets on a 16mm, at least for the APS-C censored cameras. Now, with using a 30mm, it crops in a little bit more tighter for me, so I don't really like being super close. I don't like it being cropped up on me because when I'm doing all my videos, which generally I usually will do in my room, I have to kind of sit further back just so I can get that a little bit more of that exposure in the background, and I don't particularly like that. So I really only use the 30mm for my thumbnail. So if you ever want to know what I use for thumbnail videos, or I mean what I use for making my thumbnails, what lens, it's not the 16mm, it's actually the Sigma 30mm. I'm actually going to get another Sigma lens, the 18 to 50mm, I believe is what it is, Sigma. So stay tuned for that unboxing of that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be replacing this lens with that one, but it'll be my own trio of Sigma lenses. So my primary lens that I use is my 60mm f1.4 and my a6400. Then I use my Sigma 16 or 30mm for my thumbnails, and that's pretty much it for that. And that is what I will always have, no matter what camera that I'm switching to. That's what I'll always have. So speaking of new cameras, I am planning on buying another camera. This is actually going to be my first Sony full frame camera. Not really sure what I want yet. I have been doing a lot of research. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification if this video is helpful. So now that we're going from my camera lenses to audio, so I have really 3 different ways of doing my audio. So right now what you're hearing is I'm using Rode Wireless Go mics. So I actually have 2 versions. I have the originals, which is the Rode Wireless Go, and these are amazing little wireless mics. You simply just plug one into your camera, which would be the transmitter, which is this, and then the receiver you can simply just place on your shirt or on a Joby tripod. You can kind of set it up and use it kind of like a mic stand, if you will, with it. I usually do either or style. This really depends on how I feel like want to do it, but right now I'm using the Rode Wireless Go 2, which is the second version, and as you can see, I actually have the audio changes. I'm sorry. I have this on my Manfrotto, and I have it just kind of sitting on this little tripod, and I can generally just sit that in the corner, and that gives me really good audio. And I can do the same thing with the Wireless Go, and I can use it on my Sony ZV-1. So if I have one on one camera, I have one on another camera. But price-wise, they can be a little bit expensive. The Wireless Go 2s are about $300, and the Wireless Go, the original, are about $200, so that is kind of pricey. But again, for me, this is what I use. But I also have 2 more solutions. I have here the Rode lavalier mic. This is around, I think, $80. And what's nice about this one is that you simply just take this 3.5mm plug-in, simply plug it into your camera, and it works. And if you have an Android device, you can do the same thing. But if you have an iPhone, you simply just get the Lightning to 3.5mm plug-in, and it doesn't require a battery or anything like that to plug in for it to work. It simply just works off the power of the device you have plugged in. Now this is what I will generally use with my lavalier mics if I'm doing some sort of a vlog where I don't feel like wanting to have this, kind of clipped to my shirt, or in the summertime, or if I just wear shirts, I can simply just take this, plug this into my Rode Wireless, and then I just have this tucked under my shirt, and this is kind of tucked on my shirt, and then I have it that way. I can do it with both the Wireless Go 2 and with these. But this is a really inexpensive version of doing your audio. It's around $80, and then I also have one more that I bought back in December, and that is the Deity lavalier. Now, what sets this one apart from the Rode mic or the Rode lavalier is that this one is actually powered. So whether you have it plugged into your camera or plugged into your wireless transmitter, the Rode ones, if you have the Rode, is that it still requires these little kind of small battery type things. I don't know what they're, I forgot what they're called, but those small type of batteries. It takes two of those. When you plug it in, it's powered off of that. It won't be powered off of the device itself. And again, this was around $60 off of Amazon, and I also have another less expensive version of this. That is the Boya M1 mic, which you can get for around 15 to 20 bucks, and it's also powered by batteries. But the difference between that battery powered one and this one is that if you have that one connected to your camera, you can simply just turn it off and let it be powered by the camera, or you can turn it on if you're using you're using your smartphone, and it can be powered that way without using the power from the smartphone. It's actually kind of cool. I don't use it as much anymore as I use the Deity, but it does give you rather long cords. I mean, it's a really long cord. You can tell by just being wrapped up. That's how much cord it gives you. So if you're doing a vlogging head style like this, you have it on a tripod, you want to stand a little bit further away from the camera, you can definitely do that with the Deity mic. It gives you enough cord for that. And then my third one that I also use, and I probably use this more often than I do my wireless, is the Rode Video Mic Go 2. Now, I've had the first version of this that I bought in Cali back in 2018 when I needed a shotgun mic and didn't have one. What I love about this one is it's the same as the first version. It is a more small, compact. You can turn this into a boom mic. So basically what that means is you can literally just set it up against a tripod, or in the same way that I had my wireless Go mic here, I could set on that, kind of set it aside, and it wouldn't need to be plugged into some sort of an audio source or your camera for you to actually use it in that sense. But I really just only have it ever plugged into my camera because I don't really use the wireless that often. Like I said, I switch between the two, but generally 9 times out of 10 I'll just have this kind of connected to my camera. But I can also use this as a separate mic for my Twitch streamings, or if I want to do live videos such as YouTube Live or Facebook Live or anything of that nature. I can simply just take this, use the supplied USB-C to USB cable, plug the USB-C portion in here, take the other half, plug it into my PC, and since I use OBS Studio, I can use this for doing any type of tutorials on anything that I'm using my computer with. It's an amazing audio device, and it's only $100 for this. It's definitely worth it in my opinion, but again, like I said, it is $100, but this is what I use specifically for all of my videos in terms of everything I do, and it does come with a nice little kind of wind foam, so you can kind of put on there and kind of deaden out the background noise. So, but this is what I use, I'd say 90% of the time, over my wireless mics. So last but not least, we're going to be talking about lighting. Now, I only have one source of lighting, and that is my Elgato key light that I have in the corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. So right now it's on, and I have this paired with, now you can do this, I do this in several different ways. Right now I have it with the software that I use being used to what is known as an Elgato Stream Deck. I use that for powering on my light. I can also use it to turn up the brightness, turn it down. I can also have it used to set the light tone of the light, if that makes sense. So right now I kind of have it at a soft setting, but I can turn it up in kelvins, and it could be a lot more harsher, which means a lot more brighter, more harsh on my skin. Or I can also use it to I can also turn down the tone and kind of make it more of an earthy tone, so it kind of matches my skin. I never really set it like that because I live here in Alaska. When I'm in Alaska, usually between spring and fall, I average about maybe 20 to 23 hours of sunlight. So I really don't usually will have this on unless it's kind of cloudy and I'm not getting any light. Then I will generally turn it on. Otherwise, I can simply just turn it on and off through my Elgato Stream Deck, and that's how that works. And I also have my lamp, which also has a smart bulb in it. It's known as the LIFX, and I use that also in conjunction with my Elgato key lights if I need a little bit more light on this side. But otherwise, 9 times out of 10, when that is on, I usually never really need to turn that on unless I want to. But it is also a $200 light source for this, so if you're looking for something style like that, I really would recommend just going on Amazon, looking at something like the Newers or the Lume Cube panel minis, or just pretty much any of those style lights where it's really not eating into the budget of whatever you want to do for your YouTube channel. So that is everything that I use for my channel. Like I said, now this is just something that I use for myself. That doesn't mean you need to go out there and buy the same stuff that I have, but I do get a lot of people who ask me what I use for my video content creation. This is absolutely everything that I use. Now I will be buying another camera here in the next month or so. It's actually going to be my first Sony full frame camera, so definitely stay tuned for that unboxing of that. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button at the end of this video. And that's everything that I got for my video. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. That way you don't miss videos when I drop it. And if this video was at all helpful, please give me a thumbs up, as these likes do help me create better content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Peace out.